Have you ever wondered why some dogs live longer than the others? With the oldest pups on record, such as Bobby from Portugal, who lived to be over 31 years old, or the Australian cattle dog Bluey, who died at 29 and a half, it surely makes me curious as to what's the secret of longevity. So in this video, we'll look at factors that affect our dogs' lifespans and what we can do to help them live longer. Life expectancy for dogs is making headlines and not for a good reason. According to this study, dogs in the UK live nearly 2.5 years less than Japanese dogs. And yes, there could be many reasons for this. For example, smaller or toy breeds, which are more popular in Japan, tend to live longer than larger breeds, which are more common here in the UK. But when we look at this graph, we can clearly see the differences in life expectancy between breeds. Bulldogs and pugs, also known as brachycephalic breeds, have the shortest life expectancy. This is mostly likely because their short snouts can negatively affect their breathing or lower heat tolerance, amongst other issues. So, if you happen to own one of these breeds, it's important that you educate yourself on how best to care for them. The graph shows that terriers in the UK had the longest life expectancy, but as I mentioned before, the popularity of certain breeds can affect the data and the lifespan can change from country to country. This could be down to genetics as well as the environmental aspects. For example, Labradors in Japan live on average over 14 years, 12.5 years in the UK and only 10.5 years in Denmark. However, even within the breed itself, the lifespan changes significantly, with chocolate labs living 1.4 years shorter than black or yellow ones. So, is it possible that out of surveyed dogs, the number of chocolate labs was higher in Denmark and that affected the study? I don't know, but that's why it's important to always double-check the data before jumping to conclusions. For example, some studies showed that mixed breeds lived longer than purebred dogs down to hereditary diseases. Yet, this study showed that 47.1% of purebreds have greater median survival than crossbreds and that the early benefits diminish in the next generation of crossbred dogs. A general rule of thumb is that small dogs live longer. There are some exceptions, as we discussed before, but I think we've all heard this one. No, it's not established why. Usually, in nature, smaller mammalian species have shorter lifespans, but one of the reasons with dogs could be that larger breeds are more predisposed to different illnesses, and because it's more difficult and expensive to treat them, their lives sadly end earlier. And of course, we also have to account for things like the environment, diet, exercise, weight, dental health, play, and affection, because all of these things matter when it comes to our pups' lives. So, what can we do to extend our dogs' lives? To be honest, the approach is not that different to what we do for ourselves. Reduce the exposure to stressful events and don't take for granted the importance of mental stimulation, be it through training, participating in scent-related activities, or simple play with their favorite toy. Keep them sharp and active and adjust activities to suit their age and abilities. Routine health checks will help to keep the weight at optimal level and help to spot signs of health issues early on, so don't forget about them. Limit chemical exposure to a minimum and look for more natural ways of supporting your dog's health. Take care of your pup's gut, as over 70% of their immune system is located there. Fresh and nutritious, species-appropriate diet will nourish the body and keep it moving for a long time. Avoid overly processed foods and remember, the more varied the diet, the better. And don't forget about their teeth too. Dental health is crucial, as if neglected, it can cause many problems. And one last thing, try to spend as much time with your dog in nature as you can. I know it's not always possible, but if you read about the longest living dogs, one thing stands out: the amount of time they spend outside. Dogs live shorter lives than us because they grow up faster. That means they will also reach older age much quicker. Unfortunately, we can't have them with us forever, but if we give them the best care and all the love they deserve, we can ensure that our furry friends live longer. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing.